Back with Bobby and JJ Radio. This is all about our awesome city councilman of the District 2, Mr. Alan Warrick. Been speaking about all the 4 zeros that he's wanting to have during his term, which is 0 stray dogs, 0 unemployment, 0 vacancy of homes, 0 murders. But let's focus here still on the real estate, because that's what we do. Let's talk about East Meadows. So talk about this development that's really going to help that area of town.
Well, this is the former Wheatley Courts, which was a haven for crime and drugs and violence.
And where my friends lived growing up.
Yeah, no, my friends, my cousins, I had a couple family members that lived in and around that area. And the key thing is it was inadequate housing. Just because it was cheaper doesn't mean that it should be substandard housing conditions. So we decided as a city to tear down those projects and rebuild a mixed income, multifamily community surrounded by, and the city's also torn down some vacant homes surrounded by a senior housing element and affordable housing for sale. So they're going to build about 30 or so houses that we're going to sell for less than $150,000.
That's awesome.
And that'll be, again, restricted to folks that are not making a whole bunch of money,
right,
but enough to be able to afford a mortgage.
Sure. And you're working through infrastructure in your district. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, in that area, we had old streets, no sidewalks in a lot of those streets. So the city's putting in about $4 million this year and another $4 million in the next 2 years on sidewalks surrounding that area. We're putting in street lighting, so brand new LED lights, as well as crosswalks so that we can have safe ways to school for the kids that do need to walk to school in those areas. So we're definitely putting our money in infrastructure, as well as the Menger Creek project, which is going to be a linear park that leads down to the creek that's actually right next to the AT&T Center.
Right.
And that's going to be a brand new amenity. We're going to see if we can tie it into the Salado Creek Greenway via signage and bike lanes. And then we'll also attempt to tie it back north towards the Pearl and the river extension of the San Antonio River.
That's awesome. So we're just going to be a bunch of rivers all the way through the city. That's awesome. So
are they rechanneling, or what are they doing?
Well, it's tearing out the concrete channels and making it more natural, like its original state. They're digging it deeper so it still has those flood capacities, but it's just going to be more attractive. It's not just going to be standing next to a concrete culvert. You'll be, a walkway, very similar to the Riverwalk, but
just an extension.
Yeah, just an extension of that type of style, but no buildings around it. Just more of a natural scenery. If you've ever been on the greenways.
Right. Before our break, we talked about one of the biggest things that you feel that's going to be like a bookend to that section is Essex.
Exactly.
And we have Mr. Efraim Varga here. Efraim is a developer. He's done a lot of incredible homes out in the other side of town, but now he's focusing a lot of his attention here in the downtown, to the right east of downtown area. So I want to say thanks, Efraim, for hanging out.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah. So tell us about Essex. What is your vision for Essex? And Essex, by the way, is just south of the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, Essex is off of Cherry Street, probably 4 or 5 blocks south from the Dome.
Right.
We picked Essex for all the wonderful things Alan's doing in the east side right now.
Are we calling it East Point? We're calling it East Side, East Town?
To be determined, I guess.
We're going to call it Essex?
For now, we're calling it Essex. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a really neat concept, though. It's really like the Pearl. So it's kind of like the Pearl of the East Side. I don't want to say East Side anymore. The Pearl of the East, but it's going to have like coffee shops and all these cool little attractions that people go to the Pearl for. It's just going to be located in.
Yeah, so it's a mixed-use development.
Live, work, play.
Live, work, play. Kind of like the Pearl, a little bit different. It's going to be really focused on a plaza. That's going to be in the center of the development. In the center of the plaza, we're going to have a vertical farm.
I saw that. They have plans for it where they got these crazy, like,
stories, like 4 or 5 stories.
No, it's in the middle of it. It's like a
glass tower.
Yeah, a glass tower with gardens or something. It's a really cool concept. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Where can we see something like that? Where'd you steal that idea from, or get the idea from?
Internet.
Internet. Internet. He's so innovative. Yeah. No, but this also comes because you have European background, so this is kind of like if you go to Europe, these are like the plazas and the squares. That
Yeah,
you see.
every time I go visiting Europe, that's what you see. Everywhere you go out get ice cream or you go get a beer or something. It's always focused around a plaza where the neighborhood gathers and meets. And really, what we're trying to do is really get a sense of community, for that east side area right there.
Well, it's
East
a really
Point.
big deal now because I've sold a lot of real estate in that area, and I sold a small business there to a client, and they offered him 6 times what he paid 4 years ago because what you're doing there.
Yeah.
So it's turned around that whole area.
Yeah, exactly.
And right now it's a pallet factory.
Right now it is. They built pallets there. They're still building them today. He has 2 more months to leave, and we can't wait.
So in 2 months, you guys start construction.
Well, in 2 months they stopped building pallets, but it's a pallet factory on right east or south of
And it's a large area. How
8
big is that
acres.
area?
8 acres. 8 acres, and we're still looking to add some more to it.
So we're looking at the bottom floor. We're gonna have retail, just like the Pearl. We're gonna have coffee shops and boutique restaurants, and then we're gonna have some office space, and then luxury condos at the very top.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna take a quick break, talk a little bit more about the Pearl of the East, and we have Mr. Alan Warrick and Efraim Varga.